In this world, energy moves like water. Thoughts, intentions, and emotions are waves. Some waves are gentle, some are heavy. There are times when negativity surrounds us, jealousy, ill intent, or forces we cannot fully see. Ancient wisdom teaches that energy cannot destroy itself, it can only be transformed. Take a simple glass of water. Water is pure, reflecting the sky and cleansing the body. Now in quiet reflection, spit into the water. This act symbolizes the gathering of negativity, anything that does not belong to you, anything that has attached itself to your spirit. It is not about magic. It is about intention. Humans have always used symbols to release burdens, to mark a moment of change. After doing this, observe the water. Do not drink it. Let it represent what has been collected, the heaviness, the doubts, the unseen influences. Now pour it away. Return it to the earth, to the ground where all things are transformed. The earth does not keep negativity, it recycles, renews, and grows life again. This simple ritual is not about sending harm back to anyone. It is about letting go. If someone wished ill upon you, that energy already distorts them more than it distorts you. Holding on to anger or fear only gives power to what you wish to release. When you pour the water out, you are choosing peace. You are saying, I will not carry what does not belong to me. Life is full of challenges, some visible, some hidden. But wisdom teaches that reaction is optional. You can respond with calmness. You can transform suffering into understanding. Just as water becomes steam and then returns as rain, human experience moves in cycles. What was heavy today can become light tomorrow. This ritual is a reminder you are not helpless. You have the ability to cleanse your mind, to reset your emotions, and to move forward. No outside force can define your inner state unless you allow it. Strength is not in retaliation, it is in awareness. So breathe, release, and continue walking the path of understanding. Energy and negativity exist, but they can be transformed. The speech emphasizes that negative emotions or influences are like waves they can pass, and we can choose how to respond rather than absorb them. Energy is the silent language of existence. Everything around us, thoughts, words, actions, and even the spaces between them carries a form of energy. Just as a stone dropped into water creates ripples, human emotions create effects that move beyond the moment. Negativity, whether it comes from others or from within, is also a form of energy. It exists, but it is not permanent. It can shift, transform, and lose its power when met with awareness and understanding. Ancient wisdom teaches that energy cannot simply disappear. It changes form. Heat becomes movement, water becomes steam, and steam returns as rain. In the same way, emotional heaviness can be transformed into learning and growth. When someone directs ill will toward you, it may feel like a burden, but that burden does not have to define you. You are not obligated to carry what others release into the world. Their energy may touch you, but it does not have to take root inside you. Human beings often react automatically. Anger meets anger, insult meets insult, and the cycle continues. Yet wisdom suggests another path. Between stimulus and reaction, there is a space and opportunity to choose. In that space lies freedom. You can observe the emotion without becoming it. You can acknowledge the negativity without absorbing it. This does not mean ignoring injustice or remaining silent in the face of wrongdoing. It means responding from clarity rather than from impulse. Negativity is like a storm. It may pass overhead, casting shadows and bringing rain, but it does not remain forever. The sky eventually clears. Likewise, difficult emotions and external challenges are temporary. Holding on to resentment or fear only prolongs suffering. When we release these emotions, we create space for peace. This release is not surrender, it is strength. It requires awareness to recognize what we can control and wisdom to let go of what we cannot. Energy also flows in connection with others. Our thoughts and actions influence the world around us. Kindness can uplift while harshness can wound. This does not mean we are responsible for every reaction others have, but it reminds us of the power we carry. Small gestures of understanding can break cycles of negativity. A calm word can diffuse tension. A moment of patience can change the direction of an interaction. Ultimately, the transformation of energy begins within. When we cultivate inner peace, we contribute to outer harmony. The world reflects what we nurture inside ourselves. If we plant seeds of anger, we harvest conflict. If we plant seeds of understanding, we harvest wisdom. This is not a quick process. It requires practice and self-awareness. But over time, the mind becomes steadier and reactions become more thoughtful. Negativity will always exist in some form because human experience includes struggle. Yet struggle can be a teacher. It reveals areas where we can grow and become stronger. Instead of viewing challenges as punishments, we can see them as opportunities. Every difficult moment contains a lesson, and every lesson brings growth. Energy is neither good nor bad by itself. It becomes meaningful through how we engage with it. By transforming negativity into understanding, we reclaim our power. We choose not to be defined by external forces. We choose to respond with awareness. And doing so, we move closer to inner balance and wisdom. Symbolic actions help the mind release burdens. The glass of water ritual is presented as a symbolic act, not magic, a way to mentally and emotionally let go of heaviness and negativity. Energy flows like a river, always moving, never remaining still. Thoughts and emotions are part of this flow. Some moments bring peace, others bring disturbance. Human beings often cling to what disturbs them: anger, resentment, or the pain of past events. Yet clinging to these emotions is like holding onto a heavy stone while trying to walk. The journey becomes difficult and the mind grows tired. Wisdom teaches that we can acknowledge emotions without becoming prisoners of them. Feelings arise, but they also pass. Nothing remains forever. Negativity from others may feel like an attack, but it is still energy. Words can hurt, intentions can wound, yet they do not define our inner worth unless we allow them to. Just as a tree stands firm in the storm, bending but not breaking, a person can remain steady in the face of difficulty. The storm does not last. The branches return to stillness. In the same way, emotional storms eventually subside. What remains is the lesson and opportunity to grow in understanding and strength. Human history is filled with cycles. Rise and fall, joy and sorrow, gain and loss. These cycles are natural. To resist them completely is to resist life itself. Instead, wisdom suggests acceptance. Acceptance does not mean surrendering to injustice or remaining silent when action is required. It means recognizing reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. From that recognition, we can make clearer choices. We can respond with purpose instead of reacting with impulse. When negativity arises, the first step is awareness. Notice the emotion without judgment. Anger is simply energy, fear is simply a signal. They are not enemies. They are messages. What is this feeling trying to teach? What boundary needs to be set? What understanding is missing? By asking these questions, we transform emotional reactions into opportunities for insight. The mind becomes less chaotic, more centered. Letting go is often misunderstood. It does not mean forgetting or pretending that harm never occurred. It means releasing the hold that past events have on present emotions. A person who lets go of resentment is not excusing wrongdoing, they are choosing freedom from continuous suffering. The past cannot be changed, but the present moment remains open. In this moment, we can choose peace. Life is brief. Time moves forward whether we are ready or not. Carrying unnecessary burdens only makes the journey heavier. Kindness, understanding, and self-awareness lighten the path. These qualities do not erase difficulties, but they change how we experience them. A challenge becomes a teacher. A setback becomes a lesson. Growth emerges from struggle. Energy responds to intention. When we approach the world with compassion, we often receive compassion in return. This is not guaranteed, but it is a natural principle. Actions create consequences. Seeds grow into plants. Thoughts influence behavior. By cultivating positive intentions, we contribute to a more balanced existence. Ultimately, peace begins within. External circumstances will always vary, but inner stability is possible. It requires practice, mindful awareness, patience, and the willingness to release what cannot be controlled. When the mind is calm, decisions become clearer. Relationships improve. Life's challenges become manageable. Energy is a tool. It can be used to create or to destroy, to heal or to harm. The choice belongs to each individual. By choosing understanding over hostility and awareness over reaction, we shape our experience in meaningful ways. The journey is ongoing. There will always be lessons. But with wisdom, each lesson becomes a step toward greater clarity and peace. Water represents purity and renewal. Water is used as a symbol of cleansing and transformation, reminding us that just as water cycles in nature, human emotions and experiences also change. Energy surrounds all existence, though it is often invisible. Thoughts, emotions, and intentions are forms of energy. They shape human experience in subtle ways. When a person feels anger, the body reacts, heartbeat quickens, breath shortens, and the mind becomes focused on the source of frustration. This is energy in motion. When the anger passes, the body returns to calm. The emotion was temporary, it came and it went. Understanding this natural flow helps prevent emotional states from becoming permanent burdens. Negativity from others can feel heavy. Words spoken in haste or with ill intent may sting. Actions that cause harm can leave emotional scars. Yet these experiences do not have ultimate power unless we grant it to them. A person can receive criticism without absorbing hatred. They can acknowledge wrongdoing without allowing resentment to grow. This requires awareness. Instead of reacting immediately, there is value in pause. In that pause, choice becomes possible. One can respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Human beings often carry emotional baggage. Past events replay in the mind, shaping perceptions of the present. A painful memory may cause distrust. A previous failure may create fear of trying again. While memory serves a purpose, helping us learn from experience, it should not imprison us. The past is a teacher, not a chain. Lessons from yesterday can guide today, but they should not prevent growth. Each moment offers a fresh opportunity to act with understanding. Energy can transform. Consider water. It flows as a river, becomes vapor under heat, and returns as rain. Its form changes, yet its essence remains part of the natural cycle. Human emotions operate similarly. Sadness can transform into reflection. Anger can become motivation for positive change. Struggle can cultivate resilience. The goal is not to eliminate emotion but to understand it. When understood, energy becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of suffering. Letting go is a powerful concept. It does not mean ignoring problems or pretending that everything is fine. It means releasing attachment to what causes unnecessary pain. If someone wrongs you, holding endless resentment does not heal the wound. It keeps the wound open. Healing begins when the mind chooses to move forward. This does not excuse harmful behavior, but it frees the individual from perpetual emotional distress. Wisdom encourages balance. Neither extreme reaction nor emotional suppression is helpful. Suppressing feelings can lead to inner conflict, while uncontrolled reaction can create further difficulties. Balance involves recognizing, acknowledging emotions without being ruled by them. A calm mind sees situations more clearly. Decisions made from clarity are often better than those made in the heat of emotion. Energy also connects human beings. Actions influence others. Kindness can uplift while harshness can wound. This does not mean one should tolerate injustice, but it highlights responsibility. The way we treat others contributes to the collective atmosphere of society. Small acts of understanding can reduce conflict. Patience can prevent unnecessary disputes. Compassion can build bridges where division once existed. Life is a continuous process of learning. Challenges will arise, but they are opportunities for development. A seed must break through soil to grow. The person must face difficulties to discover strength. Growth rarely occurs in comfort alone. It emerges from experience, both pleasant and difficult. By approaching life with an open mind, lessons become stepping stones rather than obstacles. Ultimately, energy responds to intention. When intentions are rooted in awareness and kindness, the outcomes often reflect those qualities. The world is not always perfect and suffering exists, but individuals retain the power to shape their responses. Inner peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is cultivated through understanding and conscious choice. By transforming negative energy into wisdom, human beings move closer to balance and fulfillment. Letting go is stronger than retaliation. The message focuses on releasing negativity instead of sending harm back, highlighting inner peace and self-control as sources of strength. Energy is the fundamental force that underlies existence. Everything, thoughts, emotions, actions, and even silence carries a form of energy. Human beings often experience emotional fluctuations. Joy arises, then fades. Sadness arrives, then diminishes. Anger ignites, then subsides. These states are temporary. They are part of the human condition, not permanent definitions of who we are. Wisdom lies in recognizing this impermanence. When we understand that emotions are passing phenomena, we gain the ability to observe them without becoming enslaved by them. Negativity from external sources can feel overwhelming. Words spoken in anger may hurt. Actions driven by ill intent can create emotional wounds. Yet these experiences, though painful, do not determine our inner worth. A person may face hostility, but they retain the capacity to respond with dignity. Reaction and response are different. Reaction is automatic and immediate emotional or verbal outburst. Response is conscious action guided by awareness. The space between stimulus and reaction is where freedom exists. In that space, a person can choose understanding over hostility, patience over impulse. Human history reveals cycles. Societies rise and fall, relationships experience harmony and conflict. Individual lives contain moments of success and struggle. These cycles are natural. To resist them entirely is to resist the nature of existence. Instead, acceptance provides clarity. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It does not imply that injustice should be ignored or that suffering should be tolerated without change. Rather, it means recognizing reality as it is before attempting to improve it. A problem cannot be solved if it is not first understood. Acceptance creates the foundation for meaningful action. Emotions, like energy, can transform. Consider a river. It flows continuously, adapting to the landscape. Sometimes it moves gently, other times it rushes with great force. Obstacles may alter its course, but the river continues. Human emotions operate similarly. A painful experience may redirect perspective. A setback may inspire growth. A moment of hardship may cultivate resilience. The challenge is not to eliminate emotion, but to understand it. When understood, emotional energy becomes a source of insight rather than suffering. Letting go is a concept often misunderstood. It does not require forgetting or denying past experiences. A person who lets go of resentment does not excuse harmful actions. They simply release the emotional burden associated with those actions. Holding on to anger or bitterness rarely improves circumstances. It prolongs inner conflict. Healing begins when the mind chooses to move forward. This does not erase the past, but it prevents the past from dominating the present. Balance is essential. Extreme reactions often create further difficulties, while emotional suppression can lead to internal tension. A balanced approach involves awareness. When emotions arise, they are acknowledged rather than ignored. They are examined with curiosity rather than judgment. What is this feeling trying to communicate? What boundary needs to be established? What lesson can be learned? By asking such questions, emotional energy becomes a teacher. The mind develops greater understanding and decisions become more thoughtful. Energy also influences human relationships. Words and actions shape interactions. Kindness can build trust. Patience can resolve conflict. Understanding can bridge differences. This does not guarantee positive outcomes, but it increases the possibility of harmony. Every individual contributes to the collective emotional environment of society. Small gestures of compassion can have meaningful effects. A moment of empathy can change the direction of an interaction. A willingness to listen can reduce misunderstanding. Life is an ongoing journey of learning. Challenges will arise, but they offer opportunities for growth. A seed must push through soil to become a tree. A person must face difficulties to develop strength. Growth rarely occurs in comfort alone. It emerges from experience, reflection, and adaptation. By approaching life with awareness and openness, difficulties become lessons rather than obstacles. Ultimately, energy responds to intention. Intentions rooted in understanding and compassion often create positive outcomes. Inner peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is cultivated through awareness and conscious choice. The world will always contain complexity, but individuals retain the power to shape their responses. By transforming negativity into wisdom, human beings move closer to balance and clarity. This transformation is a lifelong process, but it is a meaningful one. Through understanding, energy becomes a force for growth, and life becomes an opportunity for continuous development. Personal peace and awareness are powerful. The speech teaches that outside forces cannot control inner peace unless we allow it. Awareness and calmness help us move forward with wisdom. Energy is the invisible foundation of existence. It flows through thoughts, emotions, and actions, shaping human experience in subtle ways. Every interaction carries energy. Words spoken in kindness can uplift, while words spoken in anger can wound. However, energy itself is neither permanently good nor bad. It becomes meaningful through the way it is directed. A river can nourish land or cause flooding depending on its flow. In the same way, human emotional energy can create harmony or conflict. The choice of direction belongs to the individual. Negativity is a part of life. Human beings encounter challenges, disagreements, and moments of emotional difficulty. These experiences are not signs of failure, they are opportunities for understanding. When negativity arises, whether from external circumstances or internal thoughts, it does not have absolute power. It is temporary. Just as clouds pass and reveal the sky, emotional disturbances eventually subside. The mind, however, often clings to negative experiences, replaying them and giving them prolonged influence. Wisdom teaches that attachment to negativity creates suffering. Observing emotions without becoming imprisoned by them allows space for healing and growth. Human history and personal experience demonstrate cycles. Joy and sorrow alternate, success and failure coexist. Relationships experience harmony and tension. These cycles are natural. Resistance to them often creates additional suffering. Acceptance does not mean surrender or passivity. It means recognizing reality before attempting to change it. A person cannot solve a problem they refuse to acknowledge. Acceptance provides clarity, and clarity enables meaningful action. From a place of understanding, solutions become possible. Letting go is a powerful principle. It is often misunderstood as forgetting or excusing harm. In truth, letting go refers to releasing emotional attachment to past events. If someone experiences wrongdoing, holding on to resentment rarely improves the situation. Resentment acts like a weight, burdening the mind and preventing emotional freedom. Letting go does not erase accountability or justice. It simply prevents the past from dominating the present. Healing becomes possible when the mind chooses to move forward. This is not weakness, it is strength. It requires awareness and self-discipline to release emotions that no longer serve growth. Balance is essential in emotional life. Extreme reactions, whether uncontrolled anger or complete emotional suppression, often lead to difficulties. Reaction is automatic and impulsive, while response is thoughtful and conscious. The space between stimulus and reaction is where choice exists. In that space, a person can pause, reflect, and decide how to act. A calm response is often more effective than an emotional outburst. It preserves dignity and allows clearer communication. Balance does not eliminate emotions, it guides them. Emotions become sources of insight rather than causes of conflict. Energy also influences relationships and communities. Human beings are interconnected. Actions affect others, sometimes in visible ways and sometimes in subtle ways. Kindness can inspire kindness. Patience can reduce tension. Understanding can bridge differences. This does not guarantee universal agreement, but it fosters an environment where dialogue is possible. Society benefits when individuals approach interactions with awareness. Small acts of compassion contribute to collective well-being. Life is a continuous process of learning. Challenges are not punishments, they are lessons. A seed must break through soil to grow into a tree. Similarly, human growth often requires facing difficulties. Strength develops through experience, wisdom develops through reflection. Every setback contains the potential for understanding. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, they can be seen as opportunities for development. Ultimately, energy responds to intention. When intentions are rooted in awareness and compassion, outcomes often reflect those qualities. Inner peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is cultivated through conscious choice. The world will always contain complexity, but individuals retain the power to shape their responses. By transforming negativity into understanding, human beings move closer to balance and clarity. This transformation is ongoing. It requires patience and practice, yet it leads to growth. Energy becomes a force for learning, and life becomes an opportunity for continuous improvement. Through awareness and wisdom, the journey gains meaning.